Hello, and welcome to my presentation From DOS Till Dawn, Preserving Digital Content on Removable Media with Limited Resources. My name is Dillon Henry, and I am currently a Digital Curation Fellow at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. A quick background. Our Special Collections and Archives has received thousands of removable media items over the years on a variety of formats, and we had no system in place for their preservation. Some were lying in boxes, some were just in folders with other archival materials, and we finally decided to address these issues. I took on this position in 2018 to help develop policies and workflows, not only for preserving this data, but for being able to provide access to it. The first thing we needed to do was ask some questions to find what gaps we had in our knowledge of these materials and what to do with them. The first phase of this was identification. In order to get underway with our preservation, we needed to know how much content do we have, and on what formats, where are these materials located, what level of detail is in the finding aids. Following that, we needed to determine how to approach selection. As with physical collections, how do we assess what content to preserve? How do we prioritize what content to preserve? For example, a collection of 5 1/4-inch floppies is likely at a greater risk of degradation than a collection of CDs. After filling in these initial gaps in our knowledge, we needed to prepare. What hardware and software will we need? Where and how can we acquire it? How much will it cost, and can we receive adequate funding for it? Are there some formats we just won't be able to preserve in-house for the foreseeable future due to cost or availability? Only then could we begin the actual process of copying our data. Procedures had to be developed to ensure a uniform, consistent, and safe method of copying our data and transferring it to storage. Copying data is one thing. For preservation truly to be useful, we need to be able to provide meaningful long-term access to our materials. This can be difficult due to the speed with which technology and software formats become outmoded. This is where we currently are in our project. The last phase will be the project's completion and rolling this entire process into ongoing operations. Now, for our methods, we combined a number of related strategies. The first is don't worry about perfection, just do something. Find what's good enough. Don't let fear of failure or imperfection prevent you from taking any action at all. Next, be flexible and ready to adapt. It's a matter of trial and error. In our planning phase, we made assumptions that did not hold up and planned on using methods that wound up not working for us for one reason or another. But that's okay. There's always a solution. Start low risk. If you assessed and prioritize what to preserve, start your process with materials that have little research value. That way, you don't risk losing anything important. Finally, we took an iterative approach, slightly tweaking and modifying our processes until reaching the desired outcome. Of course, things are still always subject to change because the process is alive and ongoing. While we aren't finished yet, we've seen great results. We have purchased various drives and can copy a variety of media formats in-house. In addition, we can provide access to over 300 file formats with the help of QuickView Plus and VLC Media Player, along with other common software installed on our designated patron workstation, such as the Microsoft Office suite. Now for some final conclusions. First, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Plenty of other institutions have undertaken a project like this. Try to find documentation to see how they did it, see what you can borrow and adapt for your own institution. Don't be afraid to experiment. The important thing is that you do something, and it's okay if what you end up with is nothing like what you started with or how you thought it would be. That ties into the third point, which is that the process is ongoing. Technology is rapidly changing, and your processes will probably change too somewhere along the way. Lastly, document everything. Have a dedicated space somewhere where you keep all your thought processes, your decisions, and why you made them, because you will absolutely forget some things. This will also help others continue this work after you. I have some links, including a link to a Google site where I've pulled together the bulk of my project documentation for you to view. The official documentation lives in Confluence, and while there is a desire to make that public at some point, it is still in progress and includes restricted materials not for the public. I'm also including some resources that were useful for me that I use to inform my decisions that may be of use to you as well. Special thanks to my supervisor Sandy Rodriguez, who is the Associate Dean of Special Collections and Archives, and additional thanks to Stuart Hines, Derek Long, and Kay Von Moghadam for their help and input on this project, and thanks to Sean McHugh for designing these slides. Thank you all for watching, and good luck with your own digital endeavors. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at my email address listed here. Thank you.